Hello, students. Today we will study our one more poetry of class 12th. But before we start, I want all of you people just observe this picture very carefully. What exactly this picture says to all of us? And if I'm not wrong, then you all people must have seen this gesture inside your class also many times. When your teacher comes and he or she shows this gesture to all of you people to be quiet, to be silent in the class. So, the poetry what we are going to start today, that is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. If we talk about the author, so he was born in 1904 in Pearl, Chile, South Africa. His father was a railway employee and his mother was a teacher. He studied in the University of Chile. He won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection. Introspection means when we see ourselves, when we see our actions, when we judge ourselves, we check ourselves, and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. Now, let's begin the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we all keep still. The poet begins with counting 12, urging everyone to be still. He chose 12 for several reasons. 12 hints at the 12 hours of the day which rules our life. 12 refers to 12 zodiac signs believed to be the controlling forces of our lives. 12 refers to 12 months of a year, and if we believe numerology, it is the digit of peace and prosperity. 12 even may be aimed for that preparation for all to be ready to plunge. Plunge means to jump, to fall into the state of silence. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. So, in these lines, the poet here urges everyone to break the barriers of language and unite with one invisible tune, that is silence. With the word earth, the poet hints at all the human living devoid. Devoid means without something. The identity of country, creed, and caste. Creed means principles. Though language is the identity of a country or race, he affirms. Affirms means to say formally that humans are more important and identity of being a human of earth is broader realization. In the next line, it would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in sudden strangeness. In these lines, the poet wants to say we are always on move. We are all busy in accomplishing. Accomplishing means completing our work and go on rushing in our lives. Rushing means very fast. The poet even urged to stop engines. Engine refers here industrial works causing harm to environment. The poet urges us to stop our personal activities and stop engines and unite in one tune, that is silence. The poet declares silence as exotic because this silence will make us blissful. Blissful means happy, strange, and will bring complete equilibrium. Equilibrium means equality. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man's gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. If we be still, we shall be able to introspect the mistakes and the wrongdoings. Here fishermen are the representatives of all kind of tyrants. Tyrant means the cruel ruler and killers. The poet wants them to cease their work. Cease means stop and realize their mistakes. The salt gatherer is explained as the representative of poor and lower section of the society. They go up to any level to earn their livelihood and often hurt themselves irreparably. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walked about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. So, in these lines, the poet wants to say, or the poet condemns the people with the green wars. Green wars means biological weapons or creators of pollution, and wars with fires. Fire means atomic wars. They become victorious but with no survivors left. Means when there will be, you are winning, you are victorious, you have won. But suppose when there is no survivor left, जब कोई है ही नहीं आपकी विक्ट्री को एंजॉय करने के लिए, then how you will enjoy the victory? The poet mocks at the victory of those people who get victory over destruction. Destruction means vinash. The poet asks them to leave the path of destruction and join groups of silence. He urges them to put on white clothes. White clothes here symbolizing purity. And walk with others doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. Means the poet here warns us that his message of silence should not be confused with total inactivity. Means the poet does not want that you should be sitting and doing nothing. He further clears that his message does not have any affinity with death even. His message is aimed at the way of living. He wants us to stop a while and feel the calmness so that a positive introspection is done. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Very beautiful lines these are. The human beings are single-minded. In these lines, the poet wants to say, we are always busy in achieving our goals, completing personal responsibilities, and we never stop a while to evaluate ourselves and understand ourselves. We never check ourselves. We never evaluate ourselves. Evaluate means we just check, or we just see that how much we have achieved or how much we have lost. We never understand that we shall never be able to come out of these desires and achievements. If we could stop a while from these using, we would have understood the real purpose of our lives and ourselves. Rather, we go on with the fear of death, calculation how much of our dreams and wishes will be achieved. It means we are just thinking only about our achievements, how much we are just achieving, how much we are getting from this earth. Now, I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So, in the conclusion, the poet taught us through that example of earth, which at one season may look as if dead, comes back with a life in another season. Means the earth exactly can give you the best example. The seeds are there inside the earth. Sometimes it looks, in one season, it looks it is dead. But as the season changes, it proves it's alive. There is life in it. So, likewise, our life will also bear certain meaning when we walk on the right path, introspecting in silence. In the last two lines, the poet leaves us to introspect as if he himself has gone through the same. It means हम जो कुछ भी इस नेचर के साथ कर रहे हैं, whatever we are doing with this nature, for a moment, for sometimes we should sit silent. हम थोड़ी देर के लिए शांत बैठें और महसूस करें, चेक करें एक बार अपने आप को कि क्या हम सिर्फ इस पृथ्वी से, इस अर्थ से सिर्फ ले रहे हैं, और लेने में हाउ मच लॉस और हाउ मच डेवस्टेशन, कितना नुकसान हमने इस पृथ्वी को पहुंचा दिया है. द पोएट वॉन्ट्स टू गिव दिस मैसेज एंड दैट्स वाई ही वॉन्ट्स अस टू इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, खुद के अंदर झांक करके देखने के लिए द पोएट इज सेइंग टू अस. Thank you. Just go through this poetry once again. You will better understand it. Thank you. Have a nice time.